Hello and welcome to a new video. In today's video we're going to take a look at one of the weirdest legend teams that actually works out really well. This team got me up from I think 2800 to 2935, and spoiler alert, I actually hit legend already today as well, which hopefully going to be the next video with a different team that I also stole, that was really good and was literally broken. I think I went on a 9-1 run with that team, so definitely stay tuned for the video later on as well. Going to be my legend run for this season. I usually don't really start with legend at all, like I would be able to hit usually a little bit earlier. This season most likely not, because I was A, away on vacation, and B, I actually really didn't like the cups that we had this season in the early beginning, and now we have a lot of Great League, a lot of Great League cups coming up as well with the Love Cup, so I'm more happy towards what the end of the season going to bring us. But yeah, I felt like this season, the beginning was a bit difficult to play a lot of times, because a lot of cups were just not really mine. But today, we're going to take a look at this team here, and this is a very weird team, because we're having a lot of very weird movesets, and we're going to have Blizzard on the Whiscash here, for example, which is honestly such a game changer. I like this team quite a lot. There's one move that I really don't agree with, by the way, which is Seed Bomb on the Morpeko. I made videos towards this already before. Seed Bomb on Morpeko is great in limited metas with a lot of Quagsars and a lot of Gaston. Outside of this, I feel like it is kind of a waste. That's my own opinion on it. I think there are better moves to go for. I think Psychic Fangs is just way better for it in just the open Great League meta. But this is what it is. We can move on to the next opponent. I had a crazy win rate with this team. Like I only went, I played like 4 or 5 sets with this team, and I went up over 135 points there. So like I don't really know like what my win rate is. You don't see, of course, all the battles, because I did quite a lot with this team here, and it was a lot of fun. Seed Bomb, you're still gonna see sometimes here most late in the video coming in clutch. But for example here as well, Psychic Fangs would have been way better for me, because I just would have been able to get there faster. Like this, the opponent's going to use a shield, but I'm not going to be able to reach another charge move, which I would have been able to do if I had Psychic Fangs. So I don't agree with Seed Bomb on the Morpeko. The rest is kind of interesting. We have also Psyshock on the Ninetales instead of the Dazzling Gleam. I don't know if I agree with this. I do see, of course, the point of trying to counter those poison-type Pokemon like Toxapex and still do some damage against them. I do see that, but I don't know if this is the right choice on it either. Like, I don't think I went for Psyshock a single time. Like, it helps you out as well, I guess, against Pokemon like Annihilate. I could see this being a reason why you want to have it. But Annihilate seems to be a bit of a trickier Pokemon anyway for this team, right? You're going to have the Whiscash, which is going to have a bit of problems against Pokemon that's just going to be neutral. You have the Lead, which is going to be neutral. And then we have a Pokemon that's quite weak to it with Morpeko. But to be fair, I usually was able to figure it out just battling the Annihilate with this team. So I don't think it was actually the worst. Here we're going to see a little bit of the awkward interaction of having Powder Snow Ninetales. It's also not really that common to see Powder Snow, I feel like, nowadays. I feel like Charm is just a little bit better in the current meta. There are a lot of Pokemon that are weak to Charm currently, but there's not really a good Pokemon to run with Charm, I feel like. And so, yeah, we're going to see here the opponent having the Malamar. I tried to play this matchup, I don't know, like a bit weirdly here. Sometimes I actually use Saysop of Whiscash for this team. I didn't know what Saysop was really here recommended. A lot of times I used Whiscash because Whiscash has the benefit of having Blizzard, and your lead is an Ice type. And if you use the Saysop of Whiscash, you a lot of times get out Pokemon that are weak to Blizzard. In this case, we didn't, but we should hopefully be able to see some Blizzard lands here today as well. Again, I just put in basically the last battles that I did with this team, just because like the more battles you do, of course, the more you get into the team, you know, kind of on how to play around with it. So I feel like this is the best way of showcasing how to do things certain ways here with this team. We're going to be in a very tough spot. They're going to have a Mungus in the back, and honestly, we maybe should have used a shield somewhere, because now we are 2 shields down. And we're just going to get farmed on by the opponent. I think a Psyshock would have done more damage here, by the way, which would have been a bit better for me. And I also should have stayed in and get some more energy before going forward with a ball, because I just allowed the opponent to get some more fast move pressure on me with a Psywave. This was a misplay by me. I most likely could have won this, but maybe I can do it better in the next battle. We're going to have Malamar against us here again. We can go up to a potential Dazzling Gleam, which we are not yet, but they're going to go for the Superpower, so they're very likely going to stop out anyway. They're going to go into Drapion. Because I could have a potential move here already, I'm going to go for the Weather Ball, and they decide to no shield. That's not ideal, but I can hopefully go for the full farm now. No, I cannot. I should have went for the charge move here maybe as well. No, actually this is totally fine. I still have to go for the charge move now though, because otherwise they get to another crunch. And I don't want to go 2 shields down here at this point already, just to get energy on 2 of my Pokemon. It would have not been worth it. But they swap out into the Venusaur, and that is going to be great, because our Pokemon in the back, the Morpeko, doesn't want to face the Venusaur. And it's down now to the Ninetales. Ninetales has some energy advantage. Luckily, we got the shield from the opponent. I don't know why they did use a shield there, but I will definitely take it, and that was really, really nice for me. But Venusaur is gonna get to their own frenzy plan, and because I know that the MMR has some energy still left on it, I think around like 4 fast moves of energy, I'm gonna go for the undercharge so I get some energy advantage with my Morpeko. That did not work out. They have to go for a superpower though now, which drops the opponent's attack and defense, which allows us to take those hits easier, but we also dish out more damage. Is one Weather Ball now enough to knock them out after the defense drop? It is, and this is so important because now also the Venusaur goes down and Ninetales is going to be able to win us this battle. And to be fair, I feel like this team was just generally good. Like, all Pokemon really did well here. Like, usually there's teams where like, yeah, this Pokemon is kind of needed, this Pokemon is kind of playing in it, but like it's not doing the greatest job. And I feel like all of the bits of this team here are really important for the team. Like, there's so much behind it, and there's so many interesting scenarios here because of the moveset that we have, and also like more rare Pokemon. Like, I haven't seen a lot of Whiscash recently, I haven't seen a lot of Ninetales, especially like Alone Ninetales. I haven't seen it all in quite a lot of battles. So it's cool to see something like a little bit different here today. And as we will see here, we gave the opponent a lot of farm, but also dropped our own HP a little bit lower so they don't get as much harm with their Germnaa. Now it's basically 2 versus 1 because Germnaa can't do anything against my Pokemon there. They go into the Talonflame, and here's the awkward thing: if I had Scald, they would have been dead by now. But I know that they should be kind of forced to go for a Brave Bird here straight away. And so what we can do now is we can still go for a Weather Ball, and I think with the double debuff onto their defense, this should be enough to knock them out. This was my plan all along, and this worked out really, really well. And now it's a Dragonair against Ninetales, and guess what? This is a very positive matchup for the Alone Ninetales, and we can win this battle. Fast battles here, we move on to the matchup that we all kind of want to see here. What do you do against Annihilate? You play out the lead, they swap out into the Steelix, I just generate a ton of energy and wait until they go for a charge move, because now I have a ton of energy stored for later on, for the Annihilate, which is really important, and I can swap out here without having the debuff yet on my Whiscash, which makes it so much better for me. So we have 2 Weather Balls stored, or like a Weather Ball and a Psyshock stored on my Alone Ninetales, and we can overfarm by a ton here as well with our Whiscash going for the CMP tie, having a ton of energy now on this Pokemon as well. Now I have to decide, do I go for a Blizzard or do I go for a double Mud Bomb? And I decided to go for the double Mud Bomb, which is a bit of a mistake, but it is okay. We all see the Rage is coming through, that's totally fine. We can go for one move here. That's going to allow us to get, not the shield. I was hoping I would get the shield. If I went for Blizzard, I would just one-shot them here from this range, which would have been cool. But we're gonna get the shield now. We gave them too much energy with that one, but I don't want to lock myself into the Ninetales just in case they have an answer for this, which is the case here. They have Bastion on the back. And so now it's down to Morpeko to do something. Morpeko against Bastion. That's going to be a very interesting matchup. Who's going to be able to win this one? Well, let's find out here. Our reel is coming through. And as you can see here, we do enough to two-shot them. And this is so important. Like, Morpeko's matchup against Bastion is actually really good as long as you have one shield there, because we have to shield up a Stone Edge. But now we can overfarm by so much. We have now 2 moves stored here, which is really important because we have to go for an Aura Reel here to get the KO. We have to go for another Aura Reel here to get the shield. And then we still have a Weather Ball stored in order to knock out the opponent's Annihilate. And so while we got some very difficult matchups here in this battle, we were still able to come back from them. I can still go for the charge move here. I can still get the KO, and we can move on to the next opponent. And we can see the same matchup again. Let's see on how this gonna play out, because this time around the opponent stays in and we can go for the Weather Ball. And this is the thing as well, like, we just have to play it out. We literally just have to play it out. This is the only way of really battling up against an Annihilate. This team is quite a bit of a tough one for Annihilate, but it never really felt like you were like chanceless basically there. I could see Shadow and Annihilate being a bit more of an issue though, because they might be able to fully farm us down here. They're very definitely going to be able to fully farm us down in the 2-shield scenario, which is going to be way more awkward, but also puts them then, I guess, into a lower HP range, which maybe allows us then to shut them down or something later on. But as you can see here, we were able to align ourselves. We're going to have Whiscash now against the Steelix. We have the forfeit. And so we're going to have a Dragonite against us in lead. But against most of the leads, actually Charm would have been way, way better. They swap out here into the Dugong. We can go for the Aura Reel. And again, this is going to be a matchup that we're always going to be able to win here with Morpeko. And they let the move go through straight away. And imagine we had no Psychic Fangs, then I would have been able to go for the Psychic Fangs here and drop the opponent's defense instead of buffing our own attack, which will not last for long. But yeah, this is again like Seed Bomb is just a waste on this Pokemon. I would not recommend you to go for Seed Bomb on the Morpeko if you want to try this team. This team actually worked out really well again for me. Like I had a lot of success with this team, but I just wouldn't really recommend you to go ahead for that. And we didn't even go for Psyshock here because we have the harder ends in the back, and I would assume that the opponent going to forfeit eventually here. But as you're gonna see here, Whiscash is going to have a great time against the opponent's Toxic attacks. I would like to see on how much damage I can do with a Mud Bomb. I can let the move go through here. It's all going to be, yeah, no damage basically. But they don't even allow me to see how much a Mud Bomb does to them. And so we're going to have another Annihilape here. So again, for the people who are like, oh, what are you gonna do against Annihilape? You will see it here. Again, I do actually think that maybe Charm is going to be better on Ninetales. The benefit of having Powder Snow, though, for this team is that you're going to have a better answer against Diggersby, which I think is the main idea behind Powder Snow. And as we will see here, we're going to get the opponent kind of low already. We can go for another Weather Ball. And if they want to use a shield here, that would be fine. But as you see, we're going to be able to now get the KO there. And we have our Whiscash against the Azumarill. And you might think, why would you want to swap out of here into a Whiscash? It is actually quite beneficial to keep your Ninetales alive because it's quite fast at charging to charge moves, and a lot of Pokemon are quite weak to Ice typing currently. And so going into the Whiscash is actually a very solid matchup against the Azumarill with the Mudshot buff, or like buff in terms of damage, nerf in terms of energy. It actually seems like that you do quite decently against Azumarill. If I stopped it a bit earlier, I would have been able to get you to another move there as well and get them even lower. But we still have our Morpeko, and as the opponent swaps out way too late here, we're going to definitely be able to outspeed them and get to 2 moves before they can go for 2 of their own moves, which means we can use a shield here quite safely against the opponent. And yeah, we're going to be now in a cycle where we have a Dark type charge move, but it doesn't really matter because we have +1. Because it's a ridiculous move, our wheel. We're going to be able to one-shot the opponent's Drapion here, and the Azumarill is coming back in, just forfeiting straight away. Gastron in the lead. That's actually a very tough one for us to deal with. Again, also Potter's not going to help you out with the Mud Slappers. Forgot about this one, unless they're Gastrodon, because Gastrodon is part of Water type, so it's just neutral. We get them kind of low. I know that they're going to overfarm basically up to the Earth Power, and I know that they're going to go for the Body Slam here, but I still cannot really risk it. I need to keep my Ninetales alive for a little bit longer at least. So at least I'm going to be able to get to another charge move here, and I should be maybe even able to go for another one afterwards, which would be really, really good for me. But as we see here, Weather Ball's coming through, we're getting the KO, and they swap out into the Sand Slash. This is going to be quite important for us because our team can struggle against Sand Slash up energy, which they are right now. So we're at least going to be able to go up into our Whiscash, which is going to be way, way better for us. Whiscash is going to take the Ice Punch here. That's going to be great. And they swap out into the Moltres, which is going to be a bit of a tough one for the Morpeko. If I had Psychic Fangs here, by the way, I would have been able to get to the moves way faster and drop the opponent's defense, instead of buffing my own attack, which is doing basically similar things. And as you'll see here, Ancient Power is coming through. I should have went straight for the Aura Wheel here. To be fair, they shouldn't overfarmed at all. That doesn't make sense to overfarm at all. And we will see also where maybe this is going to be impactful, because they go for another charge move. It's going to be another Ancient Power. They don't knock us out, but we did get this one fast move in after the buff. We got 2 fast moves in after the buff. Maybe the opponent would have been in a range now where I would have been able to knock them out with just a Mud Bomb. As we will see here already, the opponent is getting quite low with it, but it is sadly just barely not enough. And yeah, I don't know. I don't think it actually did matter, but maybe if I went straight for the Aura Wheel, I could have won this battle. Like this, it's just a draw, which is totally fine as well, and we can move on to the final battle of today. I think we didn't go for a single Seed Bomb so far, by the way. There were some battles where I definitely did go for a Seed Bomb and did do a bit of stuff. For example, when you're in the Dark type turn against an Azumarill, you can still hit them for super effective damage. This definitely did happen, but you know what else did happen? Blizzard against Mandibuzz. See ya later, nearly there. We're gonna be able to get the lot of damage onto the opponent. We gotta let the move go through, and with us, we might even put them into Mud Bomb range, which would be really cool. We have 2 Pokemon very good against this Pokemon in the back though, so I hope they use a shield here, which is really good, and I hope they would still get to another move, but they decide to go for a charge move instead. And you know what's great about Mandibuzz? It's great fodder for our Morpeko, which can now boost up its own energy there, basically. We see the swap out into the Clodsire, and I'm just going to overfarm and swap out and try to go for a Weather Ball. And this is very risky, but I actually let the move go through. I thought I would have a CMP tie here, and I actually did have a CMP tie, which I apparently lost. but the opponent didn't get a free fast move in. That means that that was a CMP tie. Now they got the free fast move in, which wasn't a CMP tie. And we're gonna do a lot of damage against them, and with this, we're gonna put them into range, where our wheel is going to be enough to... They got actually 2 fast moves in there for me trying to press the charge move. That's really weird. But we're gonna be able to get the KO here, even with a double resisted hit. In comes Zermal for a Seed Bomb of this video. Again, Seed Bomb is an absolute waste. Like, this is most likely what the Aura Wheel would have done as well at this point, but boosting our own attack. So yeah, don't go for Seed Bomb on Demo Peko, but otherwise this team is absolutely amazing. For whatever reason, Whiskash is really good in the current meta, especially with Blizzard, and 90 Hertz has a lot of play. So yeah, I got up to 2,935 with this team. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you then later for hopefully my Legend video. Bye bye.